Well, hello and welcome to Kim's 7-day mind, body, and soul rejuvenation detox. Google Hangouts. I want to thank you for taking your time out. This is my first Google Hangout, so bear with me as I kind of get used to the technology and some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. A lot of my friends know that I detox, so this is how this particular Hangout came about. A lot of my friends know that I do detoxes maybe once a quarter, a couple of times a year, for different things, different reasons. And instead of writing out the directions and kind of for each person, because they can be kind of individualized, I just decided to do a Google Hangout so I could broadcast and tell people what I do, how I do it, why I do it. It was kind of a beginner's lesson on how to detox and what to detox for and how to do it. So that's what this broadcast is all about. I started detoxing a long time ago, probably about 15, 20 years ago, and maybe would do one every year just to kind of clean out my system. So again, this is my take on detoxing, and we'll talk about some other takes and some other ways of doing detox. First of all, let's take care of some legal and some medical disclaimers. I am not a doctor, at least I'm not a medical doctor. What I am is a certified health and wellness coach and just somebody who's been really interested in health and wellness in general. So please do not take my remarks as anything other than advice. I'm not writing prescriptions and not telling you what to do. So you take this information and do with it what you will. What I will tell you, though, is that if you are pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, if you have a chronic disease of any kind, you may want to check with your physician before doing any type of a detox, because it can be kind of pretty stressful on the body sometimes. So with all of that said, I guess our format is basically I'm going to talk and go through some things. You're more than welcome to email, text questions, and I'll answer them as the questions come through. I'm figuring that we'll be here for about an hour, and if you see me looking off to my right just a little bit, it just has my notes of what I want to cover and the order that I want to cover everything in. So let's get started. So what is a detox, and why do people choose to detox? Let's face it, it's not something that we've always done. It's not something that it's something that became necessary because of our conditions, our environmental conditions, the conditions of our food supply. But detoxing goes back thousands and thousands of years. I mean, Ayurvedic medicine, with the Indians, they chose to detox, and before even Christ was born. So detoxing has existed in different phases and different ways for quite some time. And the reasons have changed and evolved as times have gone on. Let's face it, right now, our food supply has a lot of chemicals in it, has a lot of pesticides, have a lot of antibiotics and other things that we really should not be ingesting. So periodically we have to try and purge those things from our system. An interesting thing that I've noticed is that I'm lactose intolerant. However, after doing a detox, usually I'm able to eat and drink dairy products for a good 2 weeks with absolutely no problems. As that dairy product and as those things build up in my system, then it renders me lactose intolerant, and I'm not able to eat or drink them for quite some time. So again, there you can see some very direct results of detoxing. But again, it's been around for a long time and we have different reasons. Personally, I detox for a bunch of different reasons. I like to keep my system as clean as I can. Sometimes I detox for weight loss, and if my weight gets a little beyond where I really want it to be. Sometimes I detox for spiritual reasons. Sometimes I'll fast, and that's that's one type of a detox. I'll be honest with you, I just came back from overseas and spending 2 weeks there, and quite frankly ate and drank everything I could possibly get my hands on. So this particular detox that I'm going to be starting on Sunday is definitely going to be needed. Yeah, ate zebra, ate antelope, drank things that I can't even pronounce at this point. So it was, yeah, definitely a good vacation, but it needs to come out of the system right now. Also, sometimes if I notice that there are crazy things going on with my skin, and your skin is your biggest organ, and will tell you basically, or very quickly, how healthy you are or what you need to give your body in order for it to function properly. So if I notice breakouts or patchiness in different areas, I know that there's something going on internally that I need to change, and just let's clean the system out and then begin to add foods and things back one by one until we figure out what the problem is. And sometimes it's not the food, it's just your detergent that you're using, the household cleaning products that you're using. There are so many different reasons, so many different things that could be causing it. So that's another reason. When I detox, I try to make it a whole experience, meaning that I don't just detox my body, it's a mind, body, soul, and house detoxification. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I use to detoxify the house. We'll talk about some food and some other things that I use to detox my body, some things that I do to detox my mind and rejuvenate my soul. And I know a lot of you have kids and have other obligations, and let's face it, sometimes doing a detox can be somewhat time consuming, but you owe it to yourself to take an hour out of your day to try and take care of yourself. Because quite frankly, if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not really going to be in a position to take care of anyone else. So if you can just grab that hour, maybe, before the kids get up, or after the kids have been put to bed, and just kind of, take care of you, then, your life balance becomes a little bit better. So we said that this is a mind, body, soul, and I added house detoxification. Let's start with the house. When I detox, the day before I get ready to detox, I go through my house like a tornado and clean everything. I'm talking top to bottom, stairs, corners, cobwebs, baseboards, you name it. If it's not nailed down, it's getting cleaned or moved. And for a long time, I was the queen of bleach. As far as I was concerned, bleach cured every ill that could possibly exist in the world. It disinfected everything. So it's just like everything in my house got wiped down with a mild bleach solution. And then I felt that the house was, yes, this house is clean, like they said in the movie Poltergeist. After doing some research, finding out, hey, bleach is not that great a substance to clean everything with. It's caustic. And although it does a great job at disinfecting, it affects the body in some rather negative ways. So I started looking for an alternative, and I found that alternative in hydrogen peroxide. So instead of bleach now, I clean the house with peroxide. I get the same disinfecting properties without the smell necessarily. That's a big thing. But you also have to be careful when cleaning with hydrogen peroxide, because it can bleach, which is the funny part. It can bleach certain fabrics or certain types of paint or things that it may come in contact with. So you really should dilute it. And I'll do another Hangouts or some other publication on, switching from bleach or switching from household cleaners over to hydrogen peroxide. So at this point, the Windex, I don't use Windex. Actually, peroxide's pretty good for cleaning glass, but I use vinegar instead. And in my house, you will find large containers of white vinegar for cleaning, but also apple cider vinegar for detoxification. So just trying to detox the house and get rid of all of these crazy substances, because whether you know it or not, or whether you feel it or not, what you clean your house with finds its way into your system, whether it is being absorbed through your skin because you may not be wearing gloves as you use the Windex on the windows, whether you're inhaling it, as in the case of the bleach, the smell of bleach, you're actually inhaling those fumes. Those fumes are going into your lungs and creating whatever they create at that point. even on surfaces, you know, countertops and things of that nature. Your food goes onto these countertops, and trace amounts of these cleaners can find their way into your food supply, in addition to all of the other crap that we have in our food supply. So take that as you will. Just think about what you're cleaning your house with and how you're cleaning it, you know, just do what makes sense to you in terms of cleaning products. I will admit that I still use bleach, obviously, in my laundry. I still use conventional laundry products because, you know, a few things get out stains and dirt and all that other stuff, you know, rather than other than conventional products. But you know, it's a work in progress. As soon as I find something that works better or works as well, that's holistic, that's natural, and you know, doesn't cause too many problems to the body, I will probably switch immediately. So that's the house. Once the house is conventionally clean, I like to give the house a spiritual cleaning as well, spiritual detox, if you will. And for that, I use white sage smudge sticks, and a lot of people have seen these. In fact, yeah, this is one. I know it looks like a spliff, but this is one. It's basically a bunch of white sage that's been grouped and tied together. And what Indians, the American Indians, used to do, and several other cultures, what we do is we burn it and we set it on fire and let the ashes, let the smoke permeate your environment. And quite frankly, it's a little bit smoky, but it has a very nice medicinal, almost greenish smell to it. And I love the way it smells. Yeah, I can smell the sage. I can also smell the fact that it's been burned. This method goes back hundreds and hundreds of years in several cultures that used white sage to cleanse a space, cleanse it of negative energy. So again, going back to the detox, you're cleansing the space of negative energy. Another substance that has been used to cleanse the space of negative energy is frankincense and myrrh. And if you know anything about Christianity, you'll know that frankincense and myrrh were two of the substances that were brought to Christ when he was born. And frankincense and myrrh basically come in resin form. So always got a little bit of frankincense and myrrh around the house. Comes in little resin form, little blocks, little tiny pieces. That was frankincense. This is actually frankincense I bought back from Africa, so I'm really excited and can't wait to burn some of that. Myrrh looks exactly, this is pretty much the same, only it's much smaller, little tiny pearls. And you burn that in an incense burner, and for the same reasons, it cleanses the home of negative energy. If you've ever had any negative people in your house and you want to get rid of all their vibes, you know, some white sage, some frankincense, and some myrrh burning will definitely do the trick. So that's just, you know, briefly what I do with the house. So that's the day before I start to detox my body. So the house is clean. I can move about my house knowing that it's clean, knowing that it's spiritually set, knowing that it is void of any negative energy. And I like to try and detox in a positive environment. So let's talk about the mind, the body, and the soul in terms of detoxing. Your mind processes billions of thoughts a day. Some good, some bad. Sometimes you have to consciously focus on creating good thoughts and creating that good energy for your mind, which flows through your body, which also flows through your mouth and your actions. So for 7 days, I make it a very conscious effort to make sure that I speak in the positive and the affirmative, to make sure that I'm not argumentative with people, to make sure that I try to see the flip side or the opposite side of a particular situation. There's something that an adage that says, speak it into existence. And I try to speak the positivity into existence, whether it's in my life or in other people's lives. So that's the first thing. Try to guard my mind, think positive thoughts, make positive statements. And I'll be honest with you, there are some weeks where it's, sometimes when I detox, it's really easy to do it for 7 days. And there are some times then, quite frankly, I just want to cuss everybody in the place out for a week straight. But, I have to refrain from doing such things. So making that conscious effort to guard my mind, to think positively. I also do a lot of meditation, and that's something that is great to help with creating a positive outlook, creating positivity in your mind. And meditation is not something that is really complicated. You don't have to go sit on the floor on a pillow in the lotus position with your hands, in this position and meditate for hours on end. You don't have to be a yogi. You can meditate for 3 to 5 minutes and still have it make a world of difference in your psyche, in your outlook, in your energy, the whole 9 yards. So when I say that meditation is part of detoxing, people are like, oh God, come on, I'm not going to meditate. No, it's not that deep. Take 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Go into the bathroom. And I know this is going to be a bit graphic, but it's kind of funny. I do tell some of my friends this. Look, when you're in the bathroom and you have a bowel movement, why don't you just meditate while you're there? Just take an extra couple of minutes to just meditate right there. Nobody's coming in to bother you unless you've got small children, because they could do that sometimes. Nobody's going to come and bother you at that particular point in time. You got the bathroom door closed. You've got 5 minutes to yourself at least. So that's one time that you can go and meditate. I also do some journaling, and 7 days journaling, it doesn't have to be anything deep once again, but just record your thoughts, record how you're feeling, record the things that you're thinking about. When I do this detox, some of the greatest business ideas that I have ever had have come during a detox. And Lord help me if there have been a couple of times I did not journal, I didn't have any paper near me, and I've lost some of those ideas. But then the other ideas have I've been able to write down and wound up developing, and they've served me rather well. So do a little bit of journaling. Again, you don't have to get this big fancy journal. Just get a spiral bound $1 notebook or something like that, and just jot down your thoughts, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. I have found that when you do a detox and you're really paying attention to your body and how your body is working, emotions start to come up. Things start to happen. You start to notice things that you didn't notice before. In your environment, in yourself, in your significant others, in your family members, in your friends. It's almost as if that third eye is opening. And quite frankly, that's a whole nother subject, because we can talk about chakras and third eyes and visions and all that stuff. But during a detox, there is such a huge opening of energy. And sometimes you start to see things a little more clearly. And I'll leave it at that, because sometimes you get some revelations. I've had a couple of revelations during the detox where I just had to sit back and go, whoa. And I'm convinced that they would not have come about if I had not been detoxing. So we've talked about detoxing the house. We've talked about detoxing the mind. Let's talk about body and, well, we did kind of talk about the soul with the meditation. And I'm not going to get too deep into spirituality, because everyone has different spiritual beliefs. And we're not here to really discuss the spiritual beliefs. But the meditation and getting closer and more in touch with your life force, whether that be God, Yahweh, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, it doesn't matter. Just getting in touch with, or just the universe, getting in touch with your higher source through meditation, and just sometimes just being quiet. Just sit and be quiet for just a few minutes. Will do wonders for your soul as well. So let's talk about the last thing. Let's talk about the body. Now, there are 2 ways that I like to detox my body. One is inside and one is outside. Let's talk about the outside first. There is a, let's see, here's my supplies here. Has been a concept that has been around for thousands of years called dry brushing. And what that is taking a brush made from natural fibers and gently brushing your skin, your legs, your arms, your torso, in the direction of your heart. What that does is it stimulates circulation of your lymph, which is part of your entire, good grief. Well, the lymph is part of your system. Can't think of the word right now. And it also helps to generate softer skin. It helps for exfoliation. And it's not something that you have to do really rough. In fact, it's suggested that you not do it really rough. This is, I don't know if you can see that. This is a brush made from coconut fibers. And this is what I use to gently, before I get ready to get in the shower, I will brush my skin. I will start literally at the tip of my toes, all the way up my legs, and I will brush my skin going up towards my heart. You always want to move energy towards your heart. Then I will start on my arms, literally from the tip of my fingers, on both sides, and just give my skin a really good dry brushing before I get into the shower. And again, that's one really good way of making sure that your skin stays exfoliated. Yes, when I get in the shower, sometimes I'll even use the exfoliating gloves to get off additional dead skin. But I find that when I dry brush on a regular basis, I really don't have a lot of dry skin that needs to be exfoliated. So doing the dry brushing. Just a little piece of self-care. So that's one of the things that I do in terms of an external detox. The other thing is that I have pretty much stopped using conventional lotion because of all the parabens and all the sulfates and all the other craziness that is in conventional lotion. Mineral oil, you know where that stuff comes from. Think about it. It's petroleum. Petroleum comes from oil. Oil comes from those huge tankers, which is the same stuff that you're putting in your car. But again, that's another topic. So just think about what you're putting on your body. What I've done is I have created something that my family now calls miracle oil. And this is actually a spoonful of it. I know it doesn't really look all that impressive. What it is a mixture of extra virgin coconut oil, macadamia nut oil, argan oil, and shea butter. So with all of that stuff, you kind of whip it together, and it makes a really, really nice and very, very moisturizing lotion. And that's pretty much what we use. It's all natural. It's all organic. The macadamia and the argan oils are dry oils, so it's not oily. It kind of like melts into your skin, gives your skin a nice little glow, but at the same time, you don't feel like you've doused yourself in baby oil and you're going to slide off the couch at any moment. So that's how I moisturize. So I do the dry brushing, take a shower, and I like to use Dr. Bronner's soaps because they are pretty much pure vegetarian, non-comedogenic, haven't been animal tested, and all that other stuff. And they come in a whole bunch of different scents and flavors and all that. So wash with that, and then put on some of my miracle oil, and I'm just basically ready to go. As you're putting on the miracle oil, as you're moisturizing, take that opportunity, and this is another piece of external detoxification, take that opportunity to do some self-massage. So you've dry brushed, you've washed, you've dried yourself off. Now, as you are, as my mama used to say, as you greasing up or lotioning up, take that opportunity to give yourself a little bit of a self-massage. It only takes a couple of minutes. It's great. It will also help to increase the circulation, and it's just another little piece of self-care that I like to do. And self-care will help to increase your self-esteem. It will help to increase the way that you feel about yourself, and teach you how to truly love yourself. That's one of the tenets of truly loving yourself, is self-care. So we have the dry brushing, we have the washing, we have all of the external stuff.
Let's talk about internal. Let's talk about food. Yeah, we talked about food. Figured we were going to get to this. Um, there are so many different types of detoxes. Some involve food, some do not. Some are fasts where you eat absolutely nothing, and then some are you have limited amounts of things that you eat, and then you may eat just vegetables. But the interesting thing is most detoxes do not include meat. So internally, what to stay away from when you are doing a detox? Detox: no caffeine, no alcohol. That's my biggest problem. No alcohol. And if you're a friend of mine and you're watching this, you know, especially those folks that I just spent 2 weeks with. Um, no meat, no dairy, no butter. So we're bringing it back to the basics. And sometimes that's really hard for some people. It's a little difficult for me sometimes because my favorite thing in the world is a bone-in ribeye steak, medium rare, with an enormous glass of red wine. Give me that, and I'm a very, very happy puppy. So those are all of the don'ts. Here are the basic tenets of do. You must drink water. You knew I was going to say that. Your body is 80% water. You absolutely have to drink water in order for your body to survive, or at least some kind of liquids. Water being the preferred, the liquid of choice. But coconut water is also something that's very good. I like to put a little bit of lemon in my water. I'll be honest, I don't like water. It has no taste. It has no substance to me. I don't like it. So in order for me to bear drinking water, especially the amounts of water that I need to drink when on a fast, I just put a little bit of lemon in it. Actually, when I get up in the morning, the first thing that I do is have that glass of warm water with lemon in it. And that's part of another talk that we'll have. But just very briefly, warm water with lemon in it first thing in the morning will help to get your system moving. It's a great beginning detoxifier. It has so many different benefits, and it also helps to bring about the alkalinity in the body because we're so toxic that we're inflamed. So it helps to bring a lot of that down. So that's the first thing, food. If I'm going to do a fast that includes eating, I take a tip from Ayurvedic, and that's Ayurvedic medicine. And this is ancient Indian medicine that's been around for thousands and thousands of years. Indians, and I'm talking about in India, have done detoxes for quite some time. And one of the tenets of their detoxification is mung bean soup. So basically, mung beans, and not something that we eat a lot here in the United States. You can find them in your grocery store. So I went to Sprouts. That's what we in here in Atlanta. We have Sprouts. We also have Whole Foods. Yeah, Whole Foods, I think, probably would have been twice the amount that I paid for these. So this is a big bag of mung beans, and they're little itty bitty tiny green beans. They taste pretty decent. So this bag was about $4. This is enough to last me for about half a week. So I have 2 of these. And in my mung bean soup, first of all, you cannot use chicken stock or anything like that to make your mung bean soup. If you've ever done any of my cooking classes, you know that I don't make anything unless it's got chicken stock in it. I almost never cook with regular water because I need something that's going to give whatever I'm cooking flavor, whether it be rice, beans, whatever. But for detox, I suggest that you use spring water to make your mung bean soup. Now, mung beans have properties in them that help detoxify the liver. They're almost a perfect food. They are high in protein, have almost no fat except for the fat that exists as the plant grows. So you're looking at something that will keep you nourished and also keep you full, but will also help to cleanse your body, cleanse your bowels, cleanse your system in a pretty good way. In my mung bean soup, I like to add turmeric. Now, turmeric has been talked about. It's that yellow substance that you find in a lot of Asian food. If you pick up or you put your fingers in the powder, it'll stain your fingers yellow really quick. Turmeric is probably one of the most powerful substances in a detox, or at least in my detox, because it is a blood cleanser. It is something that helps to regulate blood pressure. It is something that helps to fight heart disease. It is something that helps to regulate the secretions of the liver. It is also something that helps to clean the kidneys. So I rely on turmeric a great deal, and it's interesting because now more and more people are starting to understand and get into turmeric, and you're starting to see more and more articles written about it. You can get turmeric powder in any grocery store. That's not the turmeric that you want. You want to go to possibly a farmer's market where they have a quick turnover of turmeric powder, and you know that it's going to be pretty fresh. The stuff that's sitting on the grocery store shelves could have been in processing anywhere from 1 month to a couple of years. What I've started doing is I actually buy the turmeric root. So I go to the farmer's market and I get the turmeric root. And since I just got back, I don't have any in the house, but it looks like a really ugly orange worm. It's not pretty at all. And I'll take that and I will grate my own turmeric root. And again, when you grate the turmeric root, even fresh, it will stain your fingers yellow. So you can either wear gloves or just live with yellow fingers for a couple of days. It's not going to hurt anybody. So I use that in my mung bean soup. I also do not use iodized salt. You know, that salt in the big blue canister kind of thing that everybody buys in the store. Don't use that. Iodized salt is so harmful to the body. What I do use is sea salt, and something else that people have become very accustomed to now is, which I think is funny, is the pink Himalayan salt. And I've been using that for years, but now, and it was hard to find. Now you can find it just about, you can find it in Marshalls now. Before, I almost had to order it from, the Himalayas themselves in order to get it. Other spices that I use, garlic. I use ridiculous amounts of garlic. Garlic is an antioxidant. It is also an antibiotic. So fresh garlic, try to get as much fresh garlic as you can. We talked about lemon, so that's another substance that I use in the mung bean soup. But basically, for my detox, I eat mung bean soup all day, every day, as part of my detox. Sometimes I'll throw some leafy greens in there. I'll throw a little bit of kale in. Sometimes I'll throw a little bit of collard or mustard greens in there, just to give it some variety. What you want to do is you're trying to keep your diet as simple as possible. Your body's been processing food. He's been processing meat, been processing dairy, been processing all of the junk and all the crazy stuff that you've been eating. So now it's time to try and give your digestive system a rest while you try to clean your blood, while you try to clean the lymph, while you try to clean all of the other systems that are going on in your body. So mung bean soup is one of the ways that I do that. Something else that I do is I will make my own smoothies, and I also make something that we call chia pudding. Now, let's backtrack, and I also take wheatgrass shots. So let's kind of rewind for just a second. Smoothies, again, something that everybody's gotten into lately. If I do a smoothie, my favorite is raspberries, pineapples, and peaches. And I definitely put in a handful of kale with that. You don't taste the kale at all, especially with the pineapple. But what I also do is I'll take about an inch of ginger root, which again has incredible cleansing properties. And I will mix in that little 1 inch of ginger root with my raspberries, my peaches, my pineapple, and make a smoothie out of that. In addition to that, I add something that is called maca powder. And this is my little can of maca powder. Maca powder is something that comes to us from South America, and what it does is it promotes, as it says on here on the bottle, promotes stress reduction, healthy energy, and increased libido. Okay, most of us don't need any help with the increased libido, but for a long time I had a crazy stressful job. I don't have it anymore because I left, but it does help to regulate how your body responds to stress. When you are stressed, there is a substance called cortisol that's released into your bloodstream, and cortisol is one of the things that's responsible for high blood pressure. One of the things that's responsible for, you know, if you notice that you're gaining a little bit of weight around the middle, if you live a high stress lifestyle, and please Google all of this, if you live a high stress lifestyle, then cortisol is a part of the problem. It's not the entire problem, but it's a part of the problem. So how do you control the cortisol? Well, basically it's brought about by that fight or flight mechanism within our bodies. So you have to try and keep yourself calm. Maca powder is one of the substances that helps the body to calm itself and remain calm. I'm not saying that you're not going to have that fight or flight, and you're not going to go crazy, and you're not going to have any stress. But what I am saying is that the maca powder helps to manage the stress response that your body has. So that's one thing. Energy, it's a great energy food, as is my other favorite, chia seeds. Now, I know everybody has seen during Christmas time, probably for the past 20, 30 years, those commercials for chia pets, chia. Little did we know at that particular point in time when chia pets really came out that we were making these little, I don't know, grassy head things out of probably one of nature's most perfect foods. Chia seeds also come to us from South America, and they are a great source of vegetarian protein. They absorb over 10 times their weight in liquids, which is a great thing. They keep you full, give you lots of energy. In fact, I implore you to go, if you have not already, go and Google chia seeds and find out how great they are. Sometimes I put them in my smoothie along with the maca powder and the ginger and the pineapples and the raspberries and the strawberries, and you know, some of the other stuff that I put in my smoothies. But there's a stuff that I like to call chia pudding, where I take an organic banana and I mash it up. I hate that word, but there's no other way to say it. Organic banana, mash it up, mix it with some chia seeds, a little bit of water, because you're going to need that water for the chia seeds to expand, and a little bit of cinnamon. What else do I put in there? Oh, yeah, a little bit of organic honey. And I let that sit in the refrigerator overnight, and then I put fresh berries on top of it in the morning. So it really is, if you do it right, and if you want the recipe, I'll give it to you. But if you do it right, it really is like pudding, only it's not dairy. It's all vegetarian, and it tastes pretty good. And you can make, you know, whatever flavor you want. It doesn't always have to be bananas. So that's my go-to breakfast sometimes, definitely when I'm on the detox. So we talked about mung bean soup. That's what I eat all day, all night, while I am on my detox. I do my smoothies in the morning, and then I'll do another smoothie in the evening. Sometimes I'll add additional herbs to it, you know, depending on how I'm feeling. You know, if I really want to boost my antioxidants, I'll add some goji berries. If I'm really trying to cleanse my bowel system, I'll add, or get rid of some maybe heavy metals, I'll add some bentonite clay, which is a clay, just a little tiny bit of it. It absorbs the heavy metals that may be floating around in your body, and you can email me for more information on what that does. Sometimes I'll even put some diatomaceous earth, some DE, as we call it, in there, just a little bit. And what that helps to do is that any parasites that you may have in your body, it helps to get rid of the parasites. Wormwood does the same thing. And, you know, don't you know, be taken aback because I said parasites. We even humans, we are animals. All animals carry some type of parasite within them somewhere, and you know, sometimes you just need to get rid of those little suckers. So diatomaceous earth, wormwood also helps, and something that is incredibly powerful, oregano oil, is also something that's really, really good if you're trying to get rid of parasites. But Google it, take a look at, you know, at how the doses, and how much you should be taking. I've been doing all three for a long time, so I pretty much know how much to take from me. But again, detoxing, all of this is individual. Something else that I do in my detoxes, wheatgrass shots. Now, for those of you who may be in Atlanta, you know, we have Arden's Garden if you've ever been there, and you know that you can get fresh wheatgrass shots from Arden's Garden. For those of you who don't know about wheatgrass, wheatgrass is exactly what it sounds like. There are wheat berries, and they're sprouted, and they start to grow substance that looks like grass. Wheatgrass juice has the same properties as human blood. In fact, I think it's only, I forgot exactly what part of the chemical makeup, but there's only one, it's like one stroke of difference between wheatgrass juice and human blood. It is also terribly nutritious. Thing is, we're humans, we can't eat grass because we don't have the four-chambered stomach like a cow has. So we can't process wheatgrass, but we can drink the juice. So when I have the opportunity, I go and get wheatgrass. You cannot store it for very long. Wheatgrass loses its potency in about 24 hours. So when you get it, you got 24 hours to drink it. And you don't need much. Literally a shot, like a shot glass, is about all you need. So what I've done is I have gone and gotten my own wheatgrass press. Now, if you get the ones that are electric, they're stupid expensive. And when I say stupid expensive, you'll spend maybe $200 just to get a juicer that'll do wheatgrass. But what I have, see that? It is a hand cranked wheatgrass juicer that I got on Amazon.com, and I think it only ran me like $49, $50, which is a whole lot better than that $200 and change that I was looking at earlier. So that's the other part of my detox. So a typical day for me on detoxing, I get up in the morning, even before I get out of bed. As soon as I wake up, I thank the universe for allowing me to once again wake up. I immediately come downstairs, grab some warm water with lemon. Sometimes I'll have a little bit of turmeric in there. Take my vitamins, because yes, I do continue to take my vitamins when I am detoxing. So I'll take my vitamins, and then I will prepare a smoothie. Again, my smoothie for the day will have pineapples, raspberries, peaches, strawberries, maca powder. And then with that smoothie, maybe about half an hour later, I'll have some chia pudding. So basically, I've given myself a lot of the building blocks that the body is going to need in order to carry out the day. So I've got protein. It's vegetarian protein, but I've got lots of protein. I have my carbohydrates. They're not the ones that you know, put fat on you. They're the ones that basically your brain is going to need in order to function, and that your body is going to need for energy. I've got a good amount of fiber in me, so I know that you know, everything is going to be moving rather soon. And I also have a glass of water, so I'm hydrated. So that's the morning. I usually make my mung bean soup way ahead of time, and put it in a thermos so that I have enough for the day as I run around. And I just sip on the mung bean soup all day, you know, depending on, you know, whatever else I may have put in it. You know, when I shower, I make sure I do my dry brushing. I make sure that I do my self massage as I moisturize my skin. Just before I get ready to leave, possibly for a client site, I will take anywhere from 5 to 20, sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes an hour, and meditate. And I keep a notebook with me all day just to jot down ideas, things that come to mind that I may not want to talk about, but I know that I'm going to want to revisit later on. So this is, I mean, for 7 days, it's a very, very simple process. It's a very, very simple existence. I try not to watch TV. In fact, I've been doing an experiment for the past 2 months. I have had the cable removed from my home just because I kind of got tired of all the negative images and things that I was seeing, even when I'm trying to watch something positive. It's been an interesting experience. I will tell you that next week I'm having the cable turned back on because, you know, I kind of miss seeing the news and some other things that I need to. But, you know, during this detox period, I remove anything negative, as much negativity as I can from my surroundings. What happens when you've completed a 7-day detox? That's an individual thing. You will probably find that you're thinking a little more clearly. During your detox, you may find that your skin breaks out because as you are detoxing all of this stuff out of your system, it's going to come to the surface. So you may notice that you've got skin blotches or that you have outbreaks or things like that. Don't be alarmed. That is part of detoxing. With the mung bean soup, I don't get hungry. I very rarely do a detox where I'm not eating anything at all. I'm just doing juices. I'm not really a fan of just juicing for long periods of time. I think, you know, there's some things that the body needs and the body needs to do. So that's just my opinion. But yeah, with the mung bean soup, I don't get hungry. I get bored sometimes with the food choices because, you know, some people know me. I'm a huge foodie, which is why I need to detox once a quarter. But yeah, I get bored with the food selection, but it's only 7 days out of your life. You know, it's not going to kill you. I have noticed a lot of people have noticed that, you know, their joints are better lubricated because you're drinking so much water. If you're doing it right, you're drinking a lot of water and your joints are going to love you for it. So, you know, if your knees have been hurting or your ankles been hurting or you kind of get that little stiffness in your fingers sometimes, up your water intake and see what happens. It will be very interesting. How to come out of the detox. I do not recommend, you know, on day 7 of your detox or the next day going out and eating a 5-course meal at, some restaurant that serves only meat. You will shock your system. What I recommend is easing back into eating animal products and animal protein and other things. Just do it very slowly. And when I say very slowly, maybe over the course of 2 days. This is the thing, your system has been detoxed and your system has been relaxed. It hasn't had to process everything that it's been processing on a normal basis. So your system is just kind of saying, hey, this could be kind of nice. And then all of a sudden you're going to shove, a half, a 20-ounce steak down your throat. No, don't do that. You will experience gastrointestinal distress the likes that you've never seen before. So I don't recommend doing that. Start with salads and add meat to your salads. Like, do a chicken salad, chicken Caesar salad or something like that. Steak Caesar salad, it's even better. And just kind of ease back into it that way. If you have any questions about any of the things that I briefly discussed, since we're only here for an hour, please, send them to me, email them to me, text them to me, and I will do my best to answer them. I'm going to do very soon in 2015 a guided detox. So every day we'll have, little sessions like this, and I will literally walk you through the 7 days of detoxing. And if you're interested in that, even before then, let me know. Typically, I start my detoxes on Sundays, and today's Thursday. So I am gearing up, which means I will be cleaning my house, cleaning my home, gearing up for my Sunday detox. So yeah, cleaning starts tonight. We'll go into tomorrow because I've got stuff to do, stuff I got to work on. And I have all of my supplies and everything ready to begin my detox on Sunday. So thank you. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, please leave them here on YouTube. This whole broadcast was recorded, so you can play back different parts of it. And I thank you. Have a great night.